Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from second group from English Education Department 40. Today we will present the result of corpus data analysis from the formal language, namely academic writing. But first, let me introduce our group member. First is Muhammad Izzuddin Alwi. Second is Salsabila Fatma Azdarazin. Third is Siti Mu'amanah. Fourth is Kurnia Putri Pebimiati. Myself. Fifth is Zakina Shifa Al-Mawadah. Sixth is Nurul Husna. Seventh is Ainun Horiroh Umibaroh. Next is Dwi Juan Gemilang. Septi Juliana Dwi Risdayanti. Saifullah Sultani. And the last is Nurti Septi Purbasari. Here our group will analyze an article, a research report, an essay, a proposal, thesis, and resumes. For the parts of this analysis, I will be explained to you. But before we going to the result of data analysis, let me explain to you what is corpus. First, corpus is a collection of vocabulary used in certain contexts, both in spoken and written language. Collocation is a combination of words that are used together to make it like a native speaker or more natural. And top vocabularies are the most frequently occurring vocabulary in the text. Jadi, kelompok kami di dalam korpus data ini menganalisa banyaknya kolokasi dan top vocabulary yang digunakan di dalam academic writing yang kami analisa. And as well as I'm the part of article analysis, I will explain to you about the top vocabularies that occurring in the article with the title of Role of Intuiting Type Education in MI or SD Learning. First is the word learning. Here, the word learning occur the amount of the word learning in this article is 72. Learning in bahasa is belajar, and I will give you an example of these sentences. First is the student learning process will be easily if there is a good facilitate. The second one in the top vocabularies in the article is student. The amount of number in the article is 55. Student in bahasa is pelajar. And I will give you example sentence of this one. Student will understand the learning material if they want to learn. Okay, the third word that is mostly frequently occurring in this article is teacher. The amount of the number is 60. Teacher in bahasa is guru. And I will give you the example of sentence for this word teacher have a big role in in character development of their student. And the next word that is in the top vocabulary in this article is intuiting. The amount of the number of this word is 34. And in bahasa, intuiting is intuisi. And I will give you the example of this word. People with strong intuiting will be easy to express their knowledge. And the fifth vocabulary that is most frequently occurring in this article is educator. The amount of the number is 34. Here, educator, the meaning in bahasa is pendidik. And I will give you the example of the sentence from this word. An educator should emphasize the learning process rather than the final result. Okay, this is the 5 top vocabularies that most frequently occurring in the article, and for the clearly explanation will be explained by my partner Siti Muamanah in the next part. Okay, let's continue the explanation in the next part.
Hi, I'm Siti Muamanah. My presence number is 10. As the second speaker, I would like to tell you some collocation used in article. Then without any further ado, let's go to the first collocation. So guys, the first collocation is learning environment. This type of collocation is noun-noun collocation, which learning as the first noun and environment as the second noun. This collocation can be translated as lingkungan belajar. Then example of the use this collocation in sentence is, the center aims of this method is to provide supportive learning environment. And then move to the second collocation, that is effective training. This type of collocation is adjective noun collocation, which effective as the adjective and training as the noun. This collocation can be translated as pelatihan yang efektif. Then example of the use this collocation in sentence is, the effective training can result in students speaking ability well. And then move to the third collocation, that is language teacher. This kind of collocation is noun-noun collocation, which language as the first noun and teacher as the second noun. This collocation can be translated as guru bahasa. And then the example of the use this collocation in sentence is, language teacher should master 4 basic language skills, namely speaking, listening, writing, and also reading. And then move to the fourth collocation, that is language learning. This type of collocation is noun-noun collocation, which language as the first noun and learning as the second noun. This collocation can be translated as pembelajaran bahasa. Then the use of this collocation in sentence is, this research is aimed to determine the effectiveness of methods in language learning. And then move to the fifth collocation, that is primary goal. This type of collocation is adjective noun collocation, which primary as the adjective and goal as the noun. This collocation can be translated as tujuan utama, while the example of the use this collocation in sentence is, the primary goal of conclusion is to summarize the main points and give general comment for the text presented. And then for the last collocation is learning process. This type of collocation is noun-noun collocation, which learning as the first noun and process as the second noun. This collocation can be translated as proses belajar, while the example of the use this collocation in sentence is, teacher must apply the appropriate method in order to make the learning process run effectively. Then, from what I and Kurnia have explained before in this article under the title Role of Intuiting Type Educators in Indonesia, MERSD Learning has frequently used vocabularies. There are teacher, educator, learning, students, and intuiting. And also we found some collocations such as learning environment, effective training, language teacher, language training, primary goal, and also learning process. But vocabularies and collocation presented in the article are related to education since our article themes is education. Then that's all for me, and then move to the next material.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dwi Yuan Gemilang, presency number 25, and now I want to describe about the top vocab in a research report. Now I have top 6 of most used in the research report. The title of research report is The Importance of Women's Status for Child Nutrition in Developing Countries. So, pentingnya status wanita untuk kesehatan anak di negara berkembang. Jadi kata-kata yang ada di judul ini sebagian besar masuk ke dalam top 6 vocab yang saya buat. Oke, mari kita lihat. The first place are status with 44 words. The second place women with 43 words. Third place nutritional with 16 words. Then there's a region in the fourth place with 13 words. Then care in the 5th place with 10 words, and the 6th is study with 8 words. Why? Kenapa kata-kata yang ada di top 6 ini mirip sama the title of research report? It's because mereka harus meng-highlight, jadi kata-kata yang ada di judul ini harus meng-highlight isi dari artikelnya atau isi dari the research reportnya. Jadi kenapa kata-kata yang terdapat dalam judul, dalam title of research report sebagian besar ada dalam top vocab yang saya list ini. Dan ada kata yang enggak ada, yang tidak ada. Ada kata di top 6 yang saya buat yang tidak ada di ini, the research report. Contohnya study, and region, and care. Yes. Region. Kenapa region? Karena the title is tertulis in developing countries. Jadi developing countries itu regionnya, di daerahnya dibedakan sama negara maju yang bukan developing countries lagi. Jadi sedikit dijelaskan tentang region seperti itu. And care di sini maksudnya artinya perawatan, menjelaskan kalau di sini di judul tertulis for child nutrition. Jadi nutrisi sama perawatan itu satu frekuensi seperti itu. Terus yang terakhir adalah study. Kenapa study ada di top 6 yang saya buat tetapi tidak ada di judul? Karena dalam teks atau dalam research report itu harus melaksanakan yang namanya study atau kajian. Jadi setiap kajian itu ditulisnya di sini, di research reportnya seperti itu.
Okay, I'm Septi Yuliana Dursyanti. Now I will show you collocations used in the research report. The first is preschool age. The meaning in bahasa is usia prasekolah. And the example is Competition is mostly a distraction for preschool age children. And then, the second collocation is nutritional status or status nutrisi. The example is woman status makes by far the greatest contribution to the regional gap in the children nutritional status. And the next, control over or wewenang. The example is he had no control over that policy. And then the pathways truth atau jalur. The example is if so, what are the pathways through which it operates? Okay. And then young adult atau pemuda-pemudi. I see many young adults who think they can buy happiness. And the last collocation is household resources atau sumber daya rumah tangga. For example, household with enough resources can overcome unstable harvest. Okay, that's all collocation which can I mention in this section. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nurul Kusna. I want to report the next kind of academic writing, that is proposal. A proposal is a plan or an idea of a formal or written one, which is suggested for people to think about and decide even. Here, me and my partner Nurti Septi Burbasari analyzed a sponsorship proposal with the title Green Process, Material and Energy, a Sustainable Solution for Climate Change. So, we analyzed the top words and collocations in the text. For the first material, that is about top word, will be explained by my friends Nurti Septi Purbasari.
My name is Nurti Septi Purbasari and my material is about top vocab. Top vocab was the most common vocabulary and this is top vocab that I found. Number 1 is payment. In bahasa, payment means pembayaran. The example sentence is every time we buy something, we have to make a payment. Number 2 is delegate. Delegate means melimpahkan. The example sentence is the boss delegated all his work to me. Number 3 is logo. The example sentence is I am having trouble making logo for that brand. And number 4 is registration. Registration means pendaftaran. The example sentence is the registration for college will start soon. Number 5 is advertisement. Advertisement means iklan. The example sentence is I am tempted by the food advertisement on television.
Okay, and the next is about collocation in the text. So I found that the most frequent collocations are, in the first place is climate change atau perubahan iklim, which gets 6 repetition. For example, climate change make it difficult for farmers to get water to their fields. And number second is industrial application atau aplikasi industri that gets 6 repetitions. And for the example is industrial application could be used only for commercial purpose. And number 3 is social activity atau aktivitas sosial that gets 3 repetitions. For the example, we participate in social activities in our city. And here, I show you the top 10 collocations that we found. You can see the table. In the number 4 is wide range that gets 3 repetitions. Number 5, sponsorship proposal, also gets 3 repetition. And number 6 is for the information, twice, global warming twice, management system twice, global temperature twice, and the last one is human life that gets 2 repetitions. Okay, thank you.
Ini dan saya akan memberikan sebuah top vocab dari skripsi yang berjudul The Implementation of Simon Says Game to Improve vocabulary mastery in Learn English. Dari skripsi ini saya cuma mengambil pada bagian abstrak sampai chapter satunya. Dari sini saya akan memberitahukan dua vocab yang saya ambil top vocabnya, yaitu adalah yang pertama language yang berarti bahasa, dan kata ini muncul lebih dari 9 kali dari abstrak sampai chapter 1. Untuk contoh kalimat yang saya ambil adalah one has to find a common language to and level of understanding. Dan vocab yang kedua adalah improve, yang berarti adalah bertambah baik. Kata ini muncul lebih dari 6 kali dari abstrak sampai chapter 1 yang bagian terakhir. Dan contoh kalimatnya adalah measure aimed to improve government efficiency. Saya pikir cuma itu adalah bagian saya yang ngambil dari skripsi abstrak sampai chapter 1. Terima kasih.
My name is Salsabila Fatmazara Zain, and I am going to explain about 10 vocabularies that often shows or used in essay that I and my friends Muhammad Izzuddin Alwi analyze. The title is The Disproportional Impact of COVID-19 on African Americans. The first vocabulary is health. Health means kesehatan. And I made an example in sentence of this vocabulary. The example is take care of your health. The second vocabulary is COVID-19. COVID-19 means COVID-19. This vocabulary used for 28 times, and the example in sentence is Tipang's husband is affected by COVID-19. The third vocabulary is social. Social used for 27 times, and the example in sentence is she chose social economy topic. The fourth vocabulary is pandemic. Pandemic means pandemic. This vocabulary shows or used for 18 times. The example in sentence that I made is I'm not going anywhere because of pandemic. The fifth vocabulary is human. Human means manusia. This vocabulary used for 13 times, and the example in sentence is someone says human is scarier than ghosts, and I agree. The sixth vocabulary is worker. Worker means pekerja. This vocabulary shows around 9 times in one essay that I and my friend analyze. The example in sentence is those workers are lazy. The seventh vocabulary is United States. United States mean Amerika Serikat. This vocabulary shows around or used for around 10 times. And the example in sentence is he was born in United States. The eighth vocabulary is minorities. Minorities or means minoritas in bahasa, used for 9 times. And the example in sentence that I made is even the minorities have the same right. The ninth or the next vocabulary is according. According means menurut. And this vocabulary shows or used for 7 times. The example in sentence is according to some expert, this virus is attack our respiratory tract. The last vocabulary is law. Law means hukum. This vocabulary used for 6 times, and the example in sentence is the law must be fair to everyone. The title of essay that I and my friends analyze is The Disproportional Impact of COVID-19 on African Americans by Maritza Vasquez Reyes, and this essay is published on 2020. And then the most used vocabulary in this essay is health, means kesehatan. This vocabulary is used for 58 times, and the top two most used vocabulary in this essay is COVID-19, and the third is social. That's it for me. The next section is collocation, will be explained by my friend Muhammad Izzuddin Alwi. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ainun Qadirah. On this occasion, I would like to present my thoughts about top vocabularies found in a resume. Okay, my resume is taken from a book entitled Pleasure and the Good Life by Fred Feldman. Okay, for the first, I would like to explain about top vocabularies in resume. For the first word is show. The word show is mentioned 2 times in this resume. Show, it means menunjukkan. An example of sentence is, a man show his character. And the next word is forms. The word forms is mentioned 7 times in this resume. Forms, it means bentuk. An example of sentence is, she researches ancient life forms. And the next word is defend. The word defend is mentioned 3 times in this resume. Defend, it means mempertahankan, membela, memperjuangkan. And the example of sentence is, I can defend you against anything that attacks us. And the next vocab is pleasure. The word pleasure is mentioned 10 times in this resume. Pleasure, it means kesenangan. And the example of sentence is, the greatest pleasure of life is love. And the last vocab is some. The word some is mentioned 2 times in this resume. Some, it means beberapa. And the example sentence is, she needed some money to buy something to feed her cat. Okay, and the next, I'd like to explain about collocation in a resume. For number 1, 2, 3 are collocations which are in the form of noun phrases containing adjective plus nouns. And for number 4 to 5 are collocations which are in the form of verb phrase containing adverb plus verb. Okay, and for the first collocation is good life. It means hidup yang baik. An example of sentence is, she has tried to lead a good life. And the next collocation is pleasant life. It means hidup yang menyenangkan. And the example of sentence is, the pleasant life is realized through the attainment of day-to-day pleasure that add fun joy and excitement to our lives. And the next collocation is central aim. It means tujuan utama. And the example of sentence is, promotion of transparency is a central aim of the public sector equality duty requirements. Okay, and the next collocation is carefully and charitably interpreted. It means ditafsirkan dengan hati-hati dan penuh kasih. And the last collocation is are typically though. It means biasanya meskipun. Well, okay, I think that's enough from me. Thank you. See you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Zaykina Shifa Al-Mawadah from Group 2. Here I will explain about some examples of the corpus that are found on the resume. The resume that I analyzed was in the form of an abstract with the title Improving Student Speaking Skills Through English Movie in the Scape of Speaking for General Communication. Okay, let's start to the first vocab. First is ability. Ability artinya kemampuan. The example sentence is, listening ability is the first language skill possessed by everyone. Jadi ability di sini menjadi korpus yang ada pada kalimat ini. Lalu contoh yang kedua yaitu average. Average artinya rata-rata. The example sentence is, the average student in my school is 30 children per class. The next corpus is better, artinya lebih baik. The example sentence is, my teacher once said that it's better late than never. The next corpus is can, artinya dapat. The example sentence is, students can take lessons during the pandemic through online learning. The next corpus is collect, artinya mengumpulkan. The example sentence is, expected to all students collect their work before the weekend. And the next corpus is compulsory, artinya wajib. The example sentence is, it is compulsory for all school members to comply with school regulations. The next corpus is concluded, artinya menyimpulkan. The example sentence is, it can be concluded that English is a compulsory subject for high school level. The next is cycle, artinya siklus. The example sentence is, the water cycle is also known as the hydrologic cycle. The next is during, artinya selama. The example sentence is, during the pandemic, all students are required to carry out learning activities at home. And the last corpus is face, artinya menghadapi. The example sentence is, students can face the final exam this semester without any obstacles. Okay, that's all the examples of use of corpus in resume. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.